So I see a lot of people online talk about the features they want in iPadOS 16. So I asked people on Twitter, what is the most important feature, or what's your wish list for iPadOS 16? And I got some interesting answers. So I thought it would be a good idea to make a video on that. So this video will be my wish list for iPadOS 16 and what are the features that I really want in the new update. So I have a list of 4 things that I really want to see in iPadOS 16 as a really heavy iPad user. And first on the list we have external display support. This is a very high requested feature from people, but I don't know why Apple doesn't implement it in iPadOS. A lot of people say Apple doesn't want to do that because it would affect Mac sales, but I really don't think so, because if you make the iPad even better, that means a lot of people are gonna buy the iPad and enter that ecosystem that Apple want everyone to join. But in terms of how likely we are going to see it in the new update, I would give it a score of 5 out of 10. I mean, as much as I hope to see it, I really don't think Apple is gonna do it. Okay, so second on my list is multi-user support. This is highly requested from a lot of people because iPads are really expensive. So for example, I don't think there are many families that can afford buying iPads for each one of their kids, and it would be a lifesaver if they could buy just one iPad and let their kids share it. I would say this is also unlikely because it might means less sales for iPads, and from what I've seen from Apple, they would never put any features that could reduce the sales of any product. So I would give this 4 out of 10 of how likely we're gonna see it in the new update. And moving on to the next feature that I really want to see in the new update is better notification management. I have an Android phone and the notifications there are much better and much easier to deal with. I can do very quick actions when I get the notification, and I can delete all the notifications by pressing one button, where that's not the case with the iPad. It's a small thing, but it's really frustrating, and I really hope Apple would change that in some way. It's an easy thing to do, but because Apple have not changed the way notifications work for a long time, I would give it a score of 6 out of 10 of how likely it is to be in the new update. And the last thing on my list is also very small, and it is making separate volume settings. And what I mean by that is making a separate volume settings for music and one for video calls and one for the app you're using. Again, I know it's a small thing, but it would make our lives much easier. But in terms of how likely we're gonna see it, I would give it a score of 6 out of 10 because it's a very small thing to do, and I don't see why Apple wouldn't implement this feature in the next iPadOS. This list was the stuff that I really want to see, but there are also other features that would be nice to have as well. I see a lot of people asking for better multitasking, maybe something like how Samsung does with their tab lineup, but like I don't know why people want 100 windows open. Like, this doesn't make any sense and doesn't make you any more productive. I've never found myself wanting more than 3 windows open. I usually have one app open and focus on the task that I need to do in that app. Maybe sometimes I have 2 apps and a video, but I have never found myself wanting like 4 apps open at the same time. I actually found myself being more productive when I switched to the iPad from using a Windows computer, because the iPad forces you to focus on one task rather than just jumping between multiple windows and shifting your focus. And whenever I want to jump between apps, I just use the shortcut Command and Tab. It's really useful and I really advise everyone to use it. So in terms of how likely we're gonna see it, I would give it a score of 6 out of 10. I can see Apple making some changes, but I don't think there will be something dramatically different. The next thing is, I think, is the most requested feature of all the features that we mentioned, which is more pro apps like Final Cut or Logic. And since the iPad got the M1 chip, a lot of people said they want Final Cut on the iPad, but since 95% of people don't care about Final Cut on the iPad, I would say Apple is unlikely to do it, and I would give it a score of 4 out of 10. I mean, I really want to see it, but I don't think Apple is gonna do it. And last but not least, it would be a nice feature if Apple would redesign the home screen and let people place their apps and widgets wherever they want. I mean, I have to do a workaround just to place my widgets on the left, and I see a lot of people wanting to customize their iPad and home screen, and if I was Apple, I would definitely do it and do a big redesign for the home screen, because one, this is the perfect chance to make the iPad look different from the iPhone, and it's not very difficult to do. So yeah, I can see Apple doing it, but because they have done a redesign for the home screen last year, maybe it's unlikely they're gonna do it this year as well. So I would give it a score of 6 out of 10. So yeah, that was my list for iPadOS 16. Let me know what features do you want to see in the new update, and yeah, thank you for watching and peace.